Hello, and it's time for It's Your Time to Shine, a podcast about being a mom in a modern world. My name is Juspreet, and with me is one of my best friends, Lisa Vora. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Jess, how are you today?
I have had better days, I'm not going to lie, but it's okay. I'm
What's
standing
going on?
and breathing.
All right, well, that's always a plus. You're alive.
Yes.
What's up? What's going on today?
Just in general, I'm having one of those, I've been having one of those few days. It hasn't been a full week, but a few days that everything is just getting under my skin and I am not organized. My house is a hot mess. Getting ready to go on vacation. And when you have kids, I feel like vacation is also work.
Oh, my God, it is. Where are you going? Where are you going?
We are going to Cancun.
That's awesome. That's so much fun. Cancun.
Yeah, I think it can be a vacation. Like I've had great vacations, but I just started a new job and I am less than a month into it. And packing for a beach vacation is supposed to be really easy. Like I told myself a month ago, we're just going to pack like 2 bathing suits, 3 or 4 outfits, and that's it. Because most of the time we're just going to be swimming. And yet my house has been turned upside down with laundry and dastara and swimming outfits and goggles and all these things that are like, I have to have
sorry.
this.
I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh because it's not funny that your house is upside down. It's not. It's not. And it's supposed to be easy. You're right. But when you take that and you multiply that with 3 kids and that's a lot.
It is. Thank you.
Do you do all the packing or do the kids do their own packing?
I will tell them what to bring and they will go and grab things. And then I will be a over-functioning helicopter mom and be like, oh no, when I said a dress, I didn't just really mean any dress, even though I said
didn't
any
mean
dress.
this dress, not the one with the yellow flowers, the pink flowers.
Yes.
Can't you read my mind?
I'm trying not to do that. And then the other thing I'm trying not to do is to tell them that they can bring toys, but then deny the toys that they bring and say like, but if you lose this, we'll never get it back. And they're like, I don't care. I love this toy. And I'm like, but then don't take it.
Like, but you love it.
But they want to take the toys that they love, And so.
And then when they lose it, do they blame you?
Yes, they blame me and they say the
fault.
world is really sad. And then I try to tell myself that I'm not raising kids that are attached to things or have any sense of entitlement. But they will very quickly say, they will very quickly, when they're in a tragic moment, say like, can you check Amazon and see if that's on Amazon? Oh, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am failing as a mother. But, other than that, everything's great, Lisa. Thanks for asking.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I am excited you're going on a trip, and I really do hope that the kids go out and do their own thing for a while and just let mama be. Hang out by the pool,
awesome thing.
Get a nap, get a good book. True. That's the best.
You are so right. Having a good book. This is my time to read actual books.
Right.
And lie in the sun. And the cool thing is that every year my brother and sister-in-law and us, we take one trip together, and they have 3 kids and we have 3 kids. And so the kids are a perfect matchup because they all get along like in groups of like as 6 or 2 or whatever, like they'll pair off into 3s and different groups and they get along. So there is a lot less can you do this with us time. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so they're off on their own a little bit. That is great.
Yes, that is really awesome. And the other thing is that that all of the adults understand that what I look forward to, because the way that my work is stressful and things like that, the thing that I look forward to is just like being at the beach with a coconut water and just sleeping. And they'll like make that happen.
Yeah, and respect that, right? Because even friends, may not be compatible for vacations. Like some may be like, you got to spend every waking hour with us, and some like they don't want to spend any time with you, and just to have that balance.
Yes,
or have a friend that understands that balance.
Yeah, totally. And I think the other thing, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that's my fear when people are like, let's go on vacation together.
Right.
I'm always worried, like, are they going to
you guys have vacation compatibility. Right, right.
We need to develop a vacation compatibility quiz.
A questionnaire. Yes.
To figure out if we're compatible or not.
Yes. We do. Let's come up with one. Yeah.
The one thing that I actually really love about going on vacation, especially if we go to an all-inclusive resort, is that the breakfasts are really big, and so everyone will get a huge table with 10 for breakfast, and we'll all sit down and say, like, I got this and I got this, and the kids compare and the adults compare. And I love sleeping, as you know, sleeping in. I have a hard time sleeping. And so when I'm sleeping in the morning and I get to sleep in, that's like the best sleep I get. And my brother and sister-in-law and my husband will say to me in the morning, like, you don't want to go to breakfast with us? And they kind of shame me into going to breakfast, but they'll say things like, but this is your favorite time, like, you love it, and you always take pictures and take video of the kids, like, food creations and stuff. And so I'll always reluctantly get up and then go to breakfast, and then afterwards I'm like, I love vacation. So. Maybe you're right, Lisa. Maybe I'll come around and be happy on vacation.
Okay, so here's my thing when it comes to sleep. I'm really strict about sleep in the sense that I will not allow anyone else to keep me from doing what I love. And that happens, there's pressures everywhere. In the morning for breakfast, like you just mentioned. And then there's evening pressures for me, especially with a lot of girlfriends. Oh, let's go out. Let's go have a drink. And I have learned, because sleep is so important to me in the last year, actually it's officially 2 years since it all started, my sleep problems, and now I say sleep solutions. Yeah. But to be able to say no, because that is too important to me. And I say no a lot of times. Everyone has actually seen the shift. Or if I go out, I won't have more than a drink. I may not drink at all. I've actually that's part of my sleep solution has been not to, drink as much, which I've never been a big drinker, but, I'll still have more wine than I should sometimes. And that prevents you from sleeping. So my point is that if I go out, I may limit my alcohol intake. I may not take it at all, or I may not go out at all. But no matter what, I will make sure I get the sleep, and I give myself the time I need so that I get the sleep I need. It's just too important to me. That's what I teach Alyssa. As a matter of fact, Alyssa and I were kind of fighting about that this morning because she didn't sleep enough. And I'm like, isn't that on you? I told you last night to go to sleep, and you wouldn't. And this morning she didn't want to wake up for school. I know you know all about that. That's how kids are. They don't want to get up. Right. But I was telling her, you're in a family that really advocates sleep, and that's never going to change. I don't know what she really understood. She's 3.
Yeah.
She went, Mommy, stop talking.
Advocate is a pretty big word. But I like that you use that. Did she say, Mommy, stop talking?
Oh, she did. And then she got another little, don't talk to Mommy that way. If you want to tell me to stop talking, say, Mommy, could you please stop talking? Then she went, Mommy, could you please stop talking? I'm like, sure. Since you asked so politely, I will. We go through this every day.
So the side effect of raising really smart kids is that you're left with really smart kids, right?
I swear that girl can outwit me. And I'm not saying many people can't. I mean, you can outwit me. But in general, most people can't, and my own kid can. So
I don't know that I can outwit you. I think I just happen to be awake more.
No, you.
So I want to hear. I want to hear more about this because sleep is something that you're really passionate about. I'm super grumpy today because I haven't had enough sleep. So help me, like, with some of your practices. Like, give me the primer, the Lisa Vora primer on, like, how do you prioritize sleep?
All right, well, I'll give you the main stuff that we all know about first. Obviously, keep your gadgets away. Stop using your gadgets at night, at least an hour before sleeping. Do you do that? I'm gonna listen
and take notes. How about that? I am learning as we go. Let's just assume that I'm making all of the rookie mistakes, okay? Without personally calling me out on each one.
Well, you know what I'll start with? I'll start with actually a Today Show segment I saw this morning. They're doing a whole special on sleep deprivation this week. So they did a thing on Savannah. You know the host. I don't know if you watched the Today Show. I'm not even I don't know why I watch it because Savannah actually annoys me a lot. But either way, I was watching the whole thing and she decided to be a guinea pig for to test her sleep patterns. And they were talking about how if you wake up throughout the night, even if it's 8 hours of gross sleep, it's like considered 4 hours of net sleep, which I believe, especially if it takes so long to go back to sleep, right? Because you got to start the entire cycle over again. So they tested Savannah and they had a camera in her room. I'm watching this, and she's making every mistake in the world. She's getting up in the middle of the night when the baby's crying. Obviously, when the baby cries, you get up and you go to the baby. But when she went back to bed, she got on her iPad, and she checked her breaking news, and she checked her text. And I'm like, what is she doing? And I'm screaming at the TV. I mean, Alyssa thought that I was watching a Trump special again, but it was actually just sleep stuff. And I'm like, no one is pointing out, even the expert, that was one of the reasons her sleep, she didn't get deep sleep, because she was on her iPad throughout the night. Anyway, that was just a little soapbox thing.
Okay.
But that is very important, to keep gadgets away. Huge, because it emits, I don't want to sound too technical, but it emits blue light, and you won't be able to create or make natural melatonin.
Okay.
So you want to stay away from blue light. I have a special bulb in my room, that does not emit blue light. It's great. It's very calm. It's very soothing. Alyssa sleeps with us, so it really helps when I'm reading bedtime stories to her, when we're doing our evening routine, because she starts to calm down. And the light, so it helps with my daughter too. So that's one thing. It's like there's a special bulb. There's actually a special website that has a bunch of stuff to help reduce blue light. Also special screens to put on your phone. The ones that the phones do, they're not as good. So that's a bunch of other stuff. But let me actually not start with, but let me just say, one of my biggest philosophies now of life is that and this is very corny, but it's just what I believe, but you don't just sleep to live, you live to sleep. I literally live to sleep. I wake up in the morning with the intent of having a good night's sleep tonight. I know I'm a dork, Jess. I really am. I'm to the point where I'm
No, I think
obsessed.
It's awesome. Hey, you're healthy and happy, so there are lessons that we can learn.
I mean, I also recognize that I've built an environment around myself to make it possible. I have one child. She's 3 years old. I'm not on, cruise control, but at least when it comes to sleep and the things I need to do, I can do that with her. And I think it's a lot harder to do all this advice I'm giving, insights, it's a lot harder when you're working, when you have kids. So I do recognize that. I mean, when you have more than one child, so I recognize that. That's it's not as easy. So
well, I think there's people that are struggling even who don't have kids with sleep, and so it's something that can be like so elusive that your tips will help. And we know that intentionality and waking up and having a purpose provides more like drive, and people are more likely to achieve their goals. So I think it's kind of cool. Maybe I should wake up. Today, this is my goal, is to have a good night's sleep tonight. So I'm going to make that my goal for today.
Yeah. And don't let anyone stop you. Don't let anyone come to you and say, you got to have breakfast. Morning sleep is awesome sleep. Nights when, there are many nights I don't fall asleep, I don't sleep that well, and I'll fall asleep around 4 a.m. It's always the best sleep once you fall asleep in the morning. So if you have the time to sleep in after that, you should take it. That's my advice. So, yes. But yeah, I mean, the bullet points are basically in the morning, breathing exercises, meditations, that really helps. I do a special series of pranayama breathing. If I don't have time, or if Alyssa wakes up the same time as me, which happens a lot, I'll do it in the shower. I'm pretty committed. So I will find one way, because I will shower every day no matter what. So I'll do certain meditations and breathing in the shower. Many may not agree, but I'll do it. It keeps me calm. And as far as what to do, everyone has their own routine. You have so many different breathing exercises, meditations that you've been doing. Just continue doing whatever works for you. But just the main thing is just to do it, even if it's 5 minutes. I think it just starts the day off right. Your morning prayers, that's really what I do, morning prayers. I also eat to sleep well. So I changed my diet a little over a year ago, like really changed it. Basically stopped most processed foods. It happens sometimes. And this is me, Lisa, Miss TV Dinner. You guys know that. Like,
right.
But
you introduced me to lean cuisine when we were in college.
Lean cuisine they almost started paying me. That's how much I was such a TV. And I'm not saying I can't completely omit stuff, because I also try to, whatever I do, I want to be able to sustain. That's always been my motto. I have to sustain it. So if I completely omit something, I can't do that. So, certain days I'll take in a TV dinner, especially when Alyssa's in school, quick lunch, when I don't have time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But when I do, mostly I do, you have to take the time to do it. So I'll make salads. It'll take a while, but I'll make really good salads. I mean, Alyssa eats my salads, so I must be doing something right. But kale is really good for sleep. I'm just trying to go to bullet points. I'm not trying to go too in depth.
Sure.
Eating kale at night really helps with melatonin. Almonds really helps with melatonin. Cherry juice really helps with melatonin. The key is to get natural melatonin at nighttime.
Did you say carrots or cherries?
Cherries.
That's also so interesting. Okay.
Now, one thing you have going for you is you don't drink And that really, because drinking is a big thing. Drinking can help you go to sleep, but you will wake up in the middle of the night completely awake. It gives you this weird energy. So you don't have that hurdle at all.
Okay.
So, you know,
you're saying like alcohol at any time can affect your sleep?
Well, mostly later at night, but honestly, I will be honest. I once did like my own little study for myself where I didn't drink at all for 2 weeks, and I slept so awesome to the point where I'm like, oh my God, should I stop drinking? But I really like wine. So what I did is I just reduced it significantly after that.
Okay.
And that's really helped me. That's really helped me. But I do think that alcohol, not drinking, really, if I could do it, I would. And who knows? I always have goals, right? But but alcohol definitely does not help at all. Nighttime tea, I drink tea. I make natural chamomile lavender. I actually have the leaves, so I make that at night. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll add raspberry or black cherry berry is really good because it has chamomile in it. Really makes a difference. I used to worry at night that, if I drink tea, I'm going to have to go to the bathroom. But I realized if I get enough melatonin, I go to the bathroom and I'm like loopy. I feel like I've had pills. That's how much these things help. And go right back to sleep. Another thing, cardio exercise 4 to 5 hours before sleeping really helps. Everyone is different. Most people, if you work out right before sleep, it can interfere, but that doesn't mean everybody, because I think a lot of people can work out right before and have a great night's sleep. But in general, 4 to 5 hours before is because your body gets really warm when you work out hot, and then it naturally cools down about 4 to 5 hours before. And that really helps because you want to stay cool, which brings me to keep your room cold. Cold, 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 especially us. Now in our 40s, we're going to get hotter. We're going to go into menopause. We're going to have night sweats. We've got to really start to prepare for those hormonal changes. So one of the preparations is to keep your room really cold. I don't know if you get hot at night. Do you get hot at night?
No, I don't. I actually sleep under a blanket all year round, and it really bothers Budum.
Okay, if you don't get hot, then that's cool.
But so what temperature do you keep I'm just curious, what temperature do you keep your room at then?
About 67 or so.
Oh, wow.
68.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a problem.
74. Okay.
I know it's been a problem, though, as far as Butters goes, because Butters, as she's getting older, she needs to stay warm. My dog, Butters. I know you know, I'm telling our listeners. Mm-hmm. But as she's getting older with her arthritis and stuff, she needs a warm environment. So that's made us incompatible, Butters and me.
Yeah.
So
okay. And are you like cranking it down to 67 and then sleeping under a blanket, or are you just sleeping with?
Oh yeah, I start with a thick blanket. I like that feeling of cold room and thick blanket, and I also have a fan on because that helps with white noise as well. So white noise, I don't know about you, but a little noise in the middle of the night and I'll wake up. So a fan will keep that from happening.
Yeah, no, I do wake up really easily, so maybe the white noise.
Yeah, no, I got a white noise machine too, so that helps. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So you just keep it on all the time?
I do, but white noise machine is good too. But I like fan better because it sounds natural to me. You know, when I hear crickets from a machine, at some point I start to logically think, well, it's a machine. So,
right.
So
I don't like fans at all. I don't like the feeling of like a fan blowing on me. But everyone else in my family loves it. My kids love it. My husband loves it. So there's obviously just something weird about me. The other thing is that we usually watch TV before we go to sleep. So what you're saying is that we got to cut that out.
Yeah, and that's the hardest for me too because I watch TV before sleeping. But now what I've done is I'll watch TV. When I'm finally done, I will do meditations, breathing, just 5 minutes, and start my sleep routine after. But I'll still maximize my TV time till the end because I love TV at night.
Yeah, well, that's the time when the kids are asleep that I can watch things like Game of Thrones that are not appropriate for me to watch in front of my kids. So, okay, no, but I'm committed. I am sleep deprived enough to try anything.
You want me to? You know what I'll do, Jess? Honestly, I'm right. A friend of mine's mom is having problems with sleep right now, like major. So I told her I was going to do a whole thing where I'm going to write down my entire experience, all my experience and what I do. And I'm going to, email her so she can send it to her mom. So I'm just going to send you that once I'm done with it.
Oh, awesome. Okay,
so
cool.
It's all the little things I've done and a little philosophy and all this, like what could help. So, because we can't go through all of it in a podcast. But again, sleep is just important. I figure, we may not be able to figure out the meaning of life, but I know one thing, we definitely won't if you don't sleep. So.
Well said. Well said. and I remember my mom giving me advice that a lot of problems seem worse when you don't have enough sleep.
Definitely. Oh, I lose perspective. I have zero perspective if I don't sleep. And I know it too. It's like, I have no perspective. Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt last night at 12:44. I looked at the time and I was like, it's 12:44. I'm messing with this stupid wireless router that's not working because I'm trying to get this device online. And I was just like, my brain's not working. Why is this not working? It's definitely my brain. I should go to sleep. And then this other voice in my head was like, no, you've already spent an hour and 45 minutes on this. Like, you should make this work. Spend another 15 minutes. And I was
Tell that voice to
so
shut it. Tell that voice to shut it. All right. And also, here's that. Now that you told me what you did, clock out of your room. That produces anxiety, which can keep you from sleeping. You shouldn't know what time it is when you wake up in the middle of the night.
Then how do you know if you should wake up or just go back to sleep?
Have your alarm so when you are ready to wake up, your alarm will go off.
I don't use an alarm.
Well, then use an alarm.
Okay. I stopped using an alarm due to sleep anxiety, and I was always worried about my alarm going off. So I got rid of my alarm. But okay, you make some great points. So
okay.
for our listeners who might be listening in, I guess eventually it would be great if you could maybe put a blog post or like a video log about that. So that they can listen in. But for now, I think I'm going to try some of your tips. So getting away from any blue light emitting devices, maybe that last hour before I go to sleep, and then planning out my day so that it doesn't disrupt my sleep, because, you know, it's true that happens. And it's not like anyone's forcing me, but I will say that this weekend we had some friends come into town from California. And sure enough, they got to our house at like 11:15 on Saturday, and I was falling asleep before they rang the doorbell. But I was I was like, oh, I can't go to sleep because they're going to be here soon. And when they got here, what I should have done is said, here's your room, here's a towel for the morning, see you in the morning. But instead, what I did was I sat with them for a few hours, and then at 2, I got up and said, okay, I'm not going to be able to wake up in the morning. I have to go. But Bottom and them stayed awake for like another hour probably. So what I should have done is said, hey, everyone, let's get a good night's sleep and then we'll have breakfast in the morning, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I know it's hard. But I will tell you, if you 2 weeks sleep for 8 hours every day, you'll be committed. Because once you understand how awesome you feel, and once you're used to being the best you're committed, and you're more likely to stick to your guns when you're in that situation.
That makes total sense.
I sound like such a nerd today.
No, I love it. I think it's awesome. We should all be nerdy about something,
You saw me at
right?
my worst, though, Jess. You saw me at my worst because remember when we met in Sedona? That's when it started for me, and that's when I started to say I'm going to take ownership of this, and I'm going to do some digging, and I'm going to get through this, and so it started there. You were there when I didn't sleep that whole night, and I was crying in the morning.
I do remember that, and that was. You know what? I went through that myself. I just didn't realize that it was a sleep crisis until later. And so here it is creeping up again on me. Okay, so I'm going on vacation. I'm going to try some of these methods out.
Breathing too. Breathing. That's all I want to say because that's important. If you wake up in the middle of the night, you just can't sleep, just breathe. Just breathe. There's so many breathing techniques out there. You can look it up. I can send it to you. But honestly, in the end, it's just you in the room. It's dark. And, it's your anxiety will start to, if you can't go back to sleep, you'll start to get anxious.
Right. Yeah.
So breathe. That's the biggest, breathe. Just do breathing techniques. 5 count in, 5 count out. There's so many out there, and just keep doing it and you will fall asleep. I promise. And if you just remember, psychologically, our bodies are meant to sleep, you'll fall asleep.
Okay, I'm going to work on that. And if I wanted to look on YouTube or something for a specific breathing technique, what should I search on?
4-7-8 is the best technique.
Okay. All right, I'll look it up.
Here's the thing about that breathing, and then we'll end on that note, is that it doesn't work overnight, no pun intended there, but it does eventually work. It's kind of like working out. So you do your crunches, you're not going to see results, but keep doing it for months and months, and your body will start to respond to it. And it is the best breathing exercise you can do. I literally fall asleep my second cycle.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm definitely going to start that. And the other thing that you mentioned that I really liked was working out. I work out at lunchtime when I'm at work. Right. And so it's not that 4 to 5 hour time frame, But I notice that on the days that I work out, I have a better night's sleep.
Yes, definitely. Oh, yeah, because you've tired your body out. Also, you have endorphins because of working out, so you're less anxious in general. So working out is just so good for you all around.
That's awesome. Okay, so I will report back to you after my vacation.
Have a great vacation. I hope you catch up on some sleep.
Thank you. And I have a feeling that once although I'm being kind of negative today, I think once my feet touch the sand, I will be in a much better place and kind of helps put things in perspective, right? When you're like in an ocean or on a mountaintop.
I will say, you're one person who can, at least from the outside looking in, when you don't sleep, you still have it all together. You have your wit about you. You're quick on your feet. So I'm just saying, compared to me when I don't sleep, it's like, well, I could have thought of something funny, but I can't because I haven't slept. You know?
That's a pretty nice compliment. Okay, well, on that note, thank you so much for the sleep tips. I'm going to try them out and see, and I will report back to you and let you know how they go. And and then hopefully we can compare some stories and I can tell you what has worked for me and what things, you can tell me what rookie mistakes I made, kind of like when you were watching Good Morning America and you spotted out some of those mistakes too. So I'll take a couple videos as well of me.
I'm not trying to be a snob,
send them to you.
Sleep snob. Okay.
Hey, you know what? We need to be snobs about more things. I wish I was a snob about things earlier in life.
Yeah, that's what, I guess that's how I'm like, I don't know how many lives we have, but I do know we have this life and I want to make the most of it. And when I sleep, I do. That's it. So I'm going to do it. I'm a nerd.
That's awesome.
Sleep nerd.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you. The sleep master. Okay, so we'll wrap up here for this episode and we'll talk again soon. Thanks so much, Lisa.
All right. Thanks, Jess. Have a great vacation.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's listening to this podcast. We will talk to you soon, and whatever your sleep problems are, wherever you are today, like Lisa said, just own it and be who you are for today. Tomorrow's another day.